What's up, Victoria? It's me, Victoria. We're technically doing a reckoning, but I'm gonna call this like updating you on some stuff that I have used on my channel that I have different feelings about or maybe updated feelings on. I may declutter some of this stuff. I may invite some of it into my permanent collection. If you are new to my channel, I just want you to know that I keep makeup that I'm testing separate from makeup that I consider to be like my permanent makeup collection. And that's the makeup that I consider to be testing. It's like my testing drawers. These are things that were in my testing drawers that I have just different thoughts about. This was inspired by the video that I released last, where I talked a lot about this KJH contour stylo. And I was like, I think there's other stuff in my testing drawers that I would like to update you on. First up is Hindash's Color Fluid in the shade Canvas. This was received in PR. I do really like this. This is really handy for cut creases, or if I want to put like a lighter shadow on my lid, like basically cut creasing, but like if I want to put a lighter shadow on my lid, like, and I have other things going on, this is a great way to blank out the eyelid to put that color down. As an all over eyeshadow or as an eyeshadow base, it's a little too thin for that. It doesn't have like the stickiness that an eyeshadow primer has. So it doesn't really stay on my eyes all day. It kind of creases if I don't do the correct prep for it. But as a cut creasing tool, I do quite like it. And I do want to try some of the other shades that he has. I know they're doing a restock soon, to try those a little bit more all over the lid and as cheek and lip products. Oh, I've not tried this on my lip. I should try it on my lip. Basically what I'm boiling it down to is I really find this is a useful tool. I don't like using concealer on my eyes, and I can get this to not crease. I have not been able to do that with concealer. So that is why I'm keeping it. But if you can use concealer on your eyelids, this is going to serve a similar purpose, I fear. So I'm going to just put this in my eyeshadow drawer. So this will continue to get use out of me for sure. Let's refresh on some KJH stuff. So I have, as of today, one product from each part of the line, but they are releasing lip products. Here's what I'm asking from you, dear subscribers. Some people don't watch every video, that people who are subscribed to me. I'm wondering if I should wait for that new lip product to launch and then do a complete, like, separate KJH brand review, but I have been testing this stuff quite vigorously. I have thoughts about all of the stuff that I purchased. Some of it's more in-depth than other things. I like some of it more than other things. So let's just start with the one that I talked about most recently. If you go back to my last video, you could hear like even more detailed thoughts about this. Here's the thing about this. This is the KJH Contour Stylo in the shade Chisel. I really like this. I really like it, but I don't like it for the way that I use it. So here's what I mean. I like to contour my whole face with this. Now this product, I know that she designed it for like lip liner, slight nose contouring, contouring of the eye, slight this, slight that. That's like kind of the vibe, right? Like that's kind of the idea. KJH, she's really known for this like very easy slapped together kind of makeup, trying to make makeup easier for people. That's like kind of the vibe that I get from what she's trying to do. However, I find her makeup too complicated for that for the normal person, because a lot of normal people wouldn't think to do their makeup like her, and not everyone's going to see her apply things the way. Anyway, that's just how I feel about KJH as a makeup artist with a makeup brand and how I feel about her brand. I think this color is really good. I like to contour my whole face with it. I love contouring my nose with it. I've always really kind of liked to contour stylists. I just really like the way it blends really easily. It also applies onto foundation really lovely. It doesn't lift it at all. Blends out super gorgeously, and you end up with something really natural. I have it on as a contour today. I really like it. The problem is there's so little product in here, and if you are using it for anything more than the little boops and bops that KJH uses that for, I'm only left with this much product. I haven't had this product very long. I don't use it every day. I use other stuff. I'm not an everyday makeup wearer, but I have been drawn to this every time I do my makeup because I like the way it looks on my skin. So what my desire is of KJH, if you happen to be watching, is that I would like a contour option that comes in this big. Like I want that much contour, babe. I think you should still offer this, because I would buy this again to contour my nose specifically. My nose doesn't need to be contoured. Your nose doesn't need to be contoured. But if you're really extra and you're like doing that sort of thing, this is a really nice tool for that. I don't use it as a lip liner because I have other blurred out lip liners that contour my lips that would do something similar. In a similar shade, I'm going to reach for those over this. Eyeliners, I have eyeliners I like. I'm going to reach for those over this. And I'm not going to wear it as an eyeshadow either. So those are like all the things I'm not using it as, but I do like contouring all over my face. So KJH, my plea, make it this size and also offer this. Sell them as a duo. Give us a deal. This is a really lovely product. I do not recommend it though. I love it. And if you're going to use it for very little parts of your face, sure. Sure, but I ultimately do not think it's worth it. I do think it is overpriced. That does not mean that it is not a lovely product though. But something that's really important to me when it comes to like makeup and skincare is if I am going to spend a lot of money on it, how long is it going to last me? I'm not saying everyone is in the market for a $130 eyeshadow palette, but eyeshadow is a powder product most of the time. Like if it's a powder eyeshadow palette, you don't feel compelled to rush through that. You can sanitize it. And a lot of people are comfortable wearing powder products past their expiration date. So if you spend $130 on an eyeshadow palette, it might last you 5 to 7 years, depending on how comfortable you are. And if it's your only eyeshadow palette, it would still last you a really long time. So $130 for an eyeshadow palette, yes, expensive, but also might last you a really long time. If I wore this every day the way that I have been wearing it for a month, it would maybe get me 2 weeks. Like it's probably like 2 weeks or maybe a month total. That is not far enough for this expensive of a product. My complaints and cries is I'm still gonna finish it. Since I picked it up in the comparison, this is the blush in the shade Soft Raisin. All right, I have been the least of a fan of this product. That is it right there, the more ruddy shade. What's interesting is I don't love it on the cheeks. It's not as creamy as the contour is, and I think it's harder to blend than the contour formula. And it's quite matte, unless you add that other product that we're going to talk about in a moment. I have not mixed it with that, but I have complicated feelings about that other product as it is. We'll hold that. However, the other day I tried this on my lips for the first time. Here's the thing, here's an important context for me. It's not that I don't think lip and cheek products can exist, like a lip cheek duo product. Like, I don't think that that's like a farce. Historically, I've always found it better at one thing than the other thing. And a lot of times I wear them almost exclusively as blushes, especially if they're chunky like this. But the other day I was like, I don't really love this product, but I want to kind of give it a Hail Mary. I was doing some makeup playtime and I put it on my lips. I like it as a lip product, as a matte lip. It's a very matte, it's matte. However, I will say it read much more neutral and less red on my lips. My lips are pigmented and I find that a lot of lip colors tend to not look the same on me as they do on other people. So sometimes I'm fighting a battle of like a product going on my lips canceling out or changing my actual lip color, which I guess that's what a lip product does anyway. But sometimes like color theory does come into play with my lips because they are pigmented and the product, it might not be full coverage enough for my lips. All that being said, I thought it was like a really nice lip product, but I didn't like the formula on my lips. Like I liked it better as a lip product, but it was quite matte, quite dry. But I'm gonna keep this in my testing drawer. Like I'm not decluttering any of the KJH stuff as a spoiler alert. I'm just kind of updating my feelings. I think I want to do like a dedicated brand review where I do a lot of swatches and I do the whole thing, right? Like that's the plan for if you want a KJH brand dedicated review video. But I might do it anyway, even if you don't want it, because I might get new people to pay attention to me. I didn't mention this, but Smitha over at Glam Smitty gifted these 3 products to me. She ordered them and had them sent to me. So I just want to thank Smitha again. I wouldn't spend my money on this formula. It's not my favorite blush formula. Hyper Shine Light Pigment in the shade Light Gold. This is a highlighter. I'll try to swatch it. This is a really subtle highlighter. So if you like something like the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter as a highlighter, or you like Auric Glow Last as a highlighter, not as a primer, I'm like speaking like as a highlighter, I guess you could lay this down first. It is slightly warm. You can kind of see it. It's so hard to like swatch this product successfully. So the first time I tried this, I really couldn't figure out what was going on with it, and I tried it on camera. You could see the shine there. The closest thing that I could think of that I have tried, not formula-wise, but look-wise, would be the highlighters from Phytosurgeons, the Spectral Shines. This reminds me a lot of those, but I think that this is a lot easier to use than those. But those come in a lot more nuanced shades. There are more of them. It's an indie brand. Well, I guess KJH is an indie brand, but it's a queer-owned indie brand. But I think that they give a similar sheen if you are wearing them as a highlighter. I would buy the pink one. I like it enough to buy the pink one. I'm not going to because I have this one and I have other pink highlighters, so I don't need it. But I wouldn't hesitate to buy this product. This is by far and away my favorite. Well, now the contour is my favorite KJH product. I just think it's misinformed. This, I would pay this price again for this. I think it is lovely. The only thing I don't love about it is I wish there was like a wider, more shallow pan so I could get different shapes of brushes in there. So I do like this as is. Let's talk about the last product in kind of conjunction with the highlighter, because I really haven't used it in any other context. The last product from KJH.BRAND is the Hyper Shine Serum. Don't like the texture of this. I hate it. You can go back to the video where I first tried it. It's the first video I posted this year, like the new makeup new year video. The texture of this is gross. I'll pump it out again. It's like just so unbecoming. It feels like just lube. Silicone lube. Although it's tackier than lube. Like it's not slick like lube, but it's just thick. And you can feel it. And KJH really likes that really wet look to her skin. I find that it's unflattering for most people. And I'm not all about matte. I think you can definitely have glow to your skin that's still flattering. I just don't think that the way she does it is very flattering, even on her own face. When the brand launched, someone told me this, so I'm just repeating information that was told to me. I have not historically paid attention to KJH, but someone did tell me in the comments of the video where I tried these for the first time that when you bought them, they came as a kit. My confusion. So I have actually pumped, because I've seen her do this. She pumps this serum into the highlighter and mixes it together and applies it. It does look really pretty that way, and I would say that it applies more shiny that way. And it's much more apparent, much more present on the skin as a highlighter if you do it that way. If the intent is to use them together, why is it not one product? That's the part I'm struggling with. I think I like them better mixed. Well, I don't use this by itself at all. I think mixed, they are better, but that's just an extra step for me, the consumer. I don't like that. You can use this in other contexts, and I'm not saying that you discontinue this. I think then your highlighter is wrong. This is wrong. This is not formulated correctly because it does work better when you mix them together. But here's the other thing about slurring together products like that is like you're going to get a different consistency every time based on how much you pump out, how much you mix it into the top layer. And like it'll vary from time to time. And I understand that you're a makeup artist and like you value that experience of being able to really customize that experience. But if your product is less pretty, it doesn't work as well without it, then I think you should have made this the texture that you want it to be whenever you mix these two together. I think that's what you should be selling. I don't think these should be separate products. I think that you could still sell this like as a mixing medium for people who like really glowy stuff. That's not me. I wouldn't use it like that. That's not my intention for the use, but you could still sell this. But I just don't understand why this is not the texture that you want it to be when you mix them together. That's really confusing for me. You can also mix it with the blush, which I have not done. Here's the other thing. I am more than willing to overcomplicate a step of makeup. I do, and I know that people, because you could run to the comment section here and be like, Tom, you're willing to do XYZ thing. But sometimes sometimes there's just like, I just don't understand. I don't understand, like, if you wanted make this blush, then also make the blush that is the slurry of these two things together. Don't make me do it. And I understand you're allowing me to customize it, but I'm imagining that KJH's audience, the people who buy makeup and the people who know about KJH.BRAND, the people who know who KJH is, that's a smaller group of people that is probably more rabid and has a lot of makeup. Like, more rabid for makeup launches, has a lot of makeup already. I have colors, like KJH did not make any colors that I think are revolutionary in her blushes. So it's like I have blushes in formulas that I like that I don't have to mix another thing in with. That's to me, that's a failure. You failed. Like you failed. Like the experiment was a failure. If like you're like, you made this and you're like, oh, I want it to be glowier. So then I made this, and then it's like the solution is that the consumer, has to mix them together to make the perfect potion. I don't like that. This is gross. This is gross. I don't like it. I like mixing it with this, but I don't like the act of mix. Like I like the look of whenever they're mixed together. I don't like the act of mixing them together. I guess my question is, because if you've finished up one of these, or if you have this, and only if you're a person who always goops this in with it whenever you're using the highlighter, does your highlighter change consistency over time, right? Because as I'm dumping this in here, it's not like I'm leaving the cap open for it to evaporate out. It's not an alcohol-based serum or an alcohol-based product, so it's not like it's gonna evaporate on its own. So I assume that if I were to keep pumping this serum into this pot that eventually it's going to be a completely different texture from the base texture. Does that make sense? And that's also a failure because that's changing my experience halfway through this pot. If I keep using these together, then it's like, oh, I'm not gonna have to add as much. It gets confusing. I don't like it. Let's move on to some products that I absolutely adore. These are it's literally magic sticks from Dose of Colors, and these are two of the newer shades. One that has been featured a lot on my channel is the shade Twinkle, which is a sheer sparkle that is slightly pink, but it's definitely like a warmer pink. And I have complained about this on the channel that it's like just warmer than I want it to be. But every time I wear it, I feel very bonita. It's really pretty gorgeous. The thing is, the pink doesn't really register unless it's like layered on pink. You can see it in person, but it's definitely like gold shimmer and also pink shimmer. I've been more open to warmer tones. I think that I look really pretty in them because it makes my green eyes pop. But I still prefer cool tones. I picked this up a lot. Even it was a cool tone look, but I still put this on top of the cool tone pinks. And it was really pretty and I really liked it. Very stunning. I really like it. It's gorgeous. I like this formula already. I have the original two shades. Then I also bought the shade Frost, which I thought I was going to use a lot more because my complaint about Stardust is that it's a multicolored sparkle, where this is decidedly a silver sparkle. Also, the packaging on this one, it's like for some reason when I turn it all the way down and then try to turn it all the way back, it gets stuck. This is the only one that does that to me. Of the four that I have. I just wanted to shout that out. Okay, and so there is Frost. If you watched my last video, I put this look on and then I took Frost today and I tapped it on top to give it more of the va-va-voom. So there is Frost. And I thought I was going to use Frost a lot more than I have, but I have used it a lot less than Twinkle and I have reached for Icy and Stardust over this more times, but I still do use it and I still like it. And look at how it made me look today. Definitely gonna move these into my permanent drawer. I knew that they, like the second that they came in, I was like, these are gonna definitely be in my permanent drawer. But I will say it did take some more tinkering with them than I thought. These are my favorite eyeshadow shimmer sticks. And what I mean by that is specifically if you are looking for shimmer toppers, like what I have on my eyes right now, this is on top of other stuff. If that's what you're into, I think they are really great for that. If you are looking for an eyeshadow shimmer stick that has a base to it, these are not going to be for you. But I love playing with toppers. I love playing with texture and layering texture. So these really work for me. And I've never really just worn, like if I wear them by themselves on my lid, they will crease and break up. But if I have powders underneath them and I use them as a topper, they don't crease and move around my eyes. It just really depends on use. But these are my favorite shimmer sticks that are toppers. And I feel like I need to be really clear about that because there are other shimmery eyeshadow sticks that I think do something very different from these. These are a specific thing, but I love these. I'm gonna keep them. I really kind of wish that and I'm sure it would be more expensive for you to do this, but if the component could match the product inside or just be different, the writing on the bottom of these is quite small and it would be hard to like see them in your drawer to like know which one immediately that you're trying to reach for. Urban Decay Tube Job is up next. I received these in PR. I have the shade Brunette Brown and I also have the Platinum shade. I think this is called Bleached Platinum. I really like this. It's one of my favorite tubing formulas I've ever tried. It reminds me of, okay, so some of you were here. Remember when Tarte released their tubing mascara? The first time I tried it, I really loved it. And then the second time I tried it, I hate it. Like I had two separate tubes. I loved the first one so much, I bought it again. And then the second one did not work out as well for me. And these kind of remind me of like the best version of a tubing mascara. I'll just show you the one. Very typical tubing mascara stuff. I think that they did a really good job making the best version of a tubing mascara that I think that they could. It does everything that you want a tubing mascara to do. It does it well. It's not the worst, like, you know, it's a really good version of a tubing mascara. They have some interesting colors like the Bleached Platinum. They also have a taupe shade, which they did not send me, but I know that some of you have tried it. You've said in my comments that you really like it. If you are looking for a tubing mascara at this price point, I think this is a very good one. I'm definitely going to finish out these tubes. They're very good. The bleached one is very fun. I do like it. I like it for it making me look alarming. So I will keep using these. Like they're like technically moving into my permanent drawer, but like I've been using them a lot freely with my looks the past month or so. I don't think that they will be the mascara I buy next. I still like my Releve mascara from Surat more. So I would buy that again over that. But those are very lovely and I was happy to test them. Another thing from Urban Decay that they sent in PR in the same package were the 24/7 liquid sticks. I have 4 shades that I kept to test. We have Denim Wash, Fluid Fig, Rough Waves, and Dirty Martini. So that's what they look like. And whatever the brief was on these, I missed. Like, I don't, so I know that they have their 24/7 eyeliners. Those are called Classic. Those have been around forever. People really like it. A lot of people rebuy it. It's like some people's favorite eyeliner. So I get that. I don't think that these were made to replace them. I don't get it. I've not tried the 24/7 eyeliners, as I said, or if I have, it's been a really long time. I don't remember. Like, eyeliner has never really been my thing, so take it with a grain. I'm very specific about the eyeliners that I do like, though. My favorite is the Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal liners. The liquid stick immediate color. I think every eyeliner, gel-based eyeliner, should be like, when I swipe it, the color is fully pigmented, and even when I swipe it. So it's like, I don't understand this like liquid situation. Also, the way that these look is also really weird. They're angled on the tip. That's where the applicator is. If I turn it, that's how you twist it up. And then they do have a brush on the other side. And it's like this angled brush. I'm at a real loss as to what these are supposed to be for. Like, I don't get it. I mostly use eyeliner in my waterline. So, important to me is that it doesn't feel scratchy as it applies in my waterline. It applies color immediately and beautifully. Oh, and then it lasts most of the day. I don't need it to be like 100% bulletproof in my waterline, but I want it to look good at the end of the day as it did at the beginning of the day. But like, it can be a little bit lived in, but that's like my preferences. And I do think the Victoria Beckham does kind of look lived in by the end of the day, but it's still there. And that's the important part. My experience has varied from color to color. It takes some effort to get it to apply into the waterline, but once it's there, you can see it, it's pretty, and it will stay all day. Fluid Fig did not want to apply in my waterline, and once I got it to apply in my waterline, it did not stay in my waterline, and then it would like transfer to my skin, you know, outside, and that's fine. Like, I don't care about that. I don't mind a lived-in look. That's really chic to me. I like it. It would go from this beautiful fig color that you see, well, I guess that's, I know, whatever, this beautiful purple color, and there's some red in this purple. And whenever it would like sit in it would just turn red. So that would make me look a little bit sick. Now, I'm not saying that's not a look. Not what I'm normally going for. Didn't love that one. Dirty Martini, I only ever wore as like an eyeshadow, and it was fine for that. So I don't know how it worked in the waterline. Denim Wash is so pretty. Like, I think that color, this periwinkle color, is so pretty, but it would not apply in my waterline at all. So I've been mostly wearing it as an eyeshadow or as like an inner corner situation, or to beef up some other lavenders. I will use this as a base, and I like it for that. I don't recommend these because I found my experiences with them to be very different. I would say overall, if you are lining like the top of your lash line, they're good for that. If that's all you're doing with them and that's all you plan on doing with them. There's a lot of other eyeliner formulas that will work really well and beautiful on the skin and also work in the waterline. I don't know why you would choose these over something that could do both. I will say I am going to keep Denim Wash because I really like the color. Like, it's just such a cool, interesting choice for an eyeliner color. And I like that it's metallic, and I like layering it with other purpley sparkly things. So I am going to keep that one, but I am going to declutter the rest of them. I still need a blue eyeliner. I still need a blue eyeliner because I'm not going to keep that one because it's not good. I don't recommend that one. I wouldn't buy that. I wouldn't spend my money on that. It's not the tea. The Tube Job, though, is good, and I would spend money on that again. It's not my favorite, but I would not hesitate to recommend it. It's a good product. Let's move on to some cheek products. Let's start with these two Trixie Cosmetics blushes. I have the shade Sweetie and the shade Honey. These were sent to me in PR. On top we have Sweetie, on the bottom we have Honey. Where I'm landing on this, these have survived a couple of reckonings but never have made it into my permanent drawer. And I keep wanting to make a spiritual relationship with them. Like, I want to like them and I want to use them. And I don't. But I love the shade Baby in this same formula. So my advice to you, if you are interested in these Trixie blushes, pick the one that you know that you will like the best. Like, the color that you will use the most, that you will like the best. The thing is, Honey's a little bit warm. I think it looks really beautiful on my cheek. I feel like I have colors like this tenfold. And then this Sweetie shade is really pretty. It's like a punchy coral shade. I'm not wearing a lot of coral blushes. It feels like I'm always getting a coral blush in PR, so it's like I never feel like I'm going without if I didn't have it. And I certainly don't need another like nudie blush like this either. So that's the thing. This formula is good. It's not the best. This formula is like, it wears well, it does all the things you want it to, it blends well, it looks good, whatever. It does all the things you would like want it to. It's just like not the best version of it. And they have some unique colors. I think it is worth checking out for the unique colors like Baby, which is like a lavender pink color, which other brands have, but I like the way that they did it better than some other brands. And they have there's like a yellow shade that is pretty unique that not a lot of brands carry. That one's really cool. But I think for your basic colors, I don't think that you should buy any shade that would be like technically a repeat shade in your collection. Because if you already have a formula that you like better than this, you're just going to keep using that formula over this. Like, it's just not revolutionary. So I just don't know that it's completely worth it. But they're nice, but not my favorite. Let's talk about some stuff from Singe Beauty. Singe sent me 3 of their Evocative Silk blushes. Well, I sent 4, but I opened 3. The one I like put in my donate pile. So because it was just too dark and I knew I wouldn't use it. I have tried some of the shades in the original launch. These were part of their newest extension. I'll explain what happened to the third one in a moment. The first shade I tried, or the first 2 shades I tried, I just didn't love the color. And sometimes whenever you're testing things for review, color plays a much more important role than you may think it would. The first colors were kind of warmer, kind of punchier colors, and like they were unique colors, but like not so unique that I felt like I needed to have them. But I did like the formula and I kind of moved on. Then they came out with these shades, and these shades are bangers. So let me swatch the 3 shades I have. So we have Classy Cloudberry, Fearless Fig, and... Sorry, I just had to check to make sure that the eyeliner was not the same name as the blush. And then we have Likeable Litchi on the bottom. They're very pretty. So here's what I've learned about these, is that they have quite the sheen to them. And I don't know if all of the shades do, or just these 3, or just some of them. I don't really remember the original shades that I tried having this much sheen to them, but what I have found when I've been wearing these is that I don't wear highlighter whenever I wear them because they're so glowy. It's like I just don't feel like I need that extra punch. I sometimes will, but look at that sheen. It's gorgeous, but you still have that gorgeous color too. Sometimes whenever a blush has that like highlightery finish, there's like no pigment to the blush, but these have it. If you were to buy one for your skin depth. I don't know if I bought one that was deeper if I would be able to make it lighter on my skin. Like, I don't think I would have that kind of control over it. But the shades that work for my skin tone, I can kind of apply without caution. Blush formula is really lovely. I think it's really good. And I think with this shade extension, Angie really released like some shades that I think are not made by a lot of brands, and you have that gorgeous sheen to them, which I don't feel like a lot of indie brands do sheeny blushes. These are stunning. I'm obsessed with them. If there is a shade from the Singe blush line that you want, that you think are good, and you have the money, it's not like, you know, it's a part of your budgeting and all that, I wouldn't hesitate to recommend these. And I wasn't expecting to like love these so much. I knew that these blushes would be like more in line with like my vibe, maybe minus the Cloudberry shade. Those other 2 blushes, they like are very much in my oeuvre, but they're kind of more girly pop than I go. They're a little more saturated than my usual thing. And I would say I'm going to actually pull out a blush I have from Valentino. It might be very similar to this Likeable Litchi shade. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I really like that blush and I very rarely use it. I don't know if Valentino is discontinuing these eye to cheek blush or, well, eye to cheek shades. Sorry, mine's like incredibly dirty because another blush dug into it, which is really annoying. And I don't know how long it's been doing that, but it must have been doing it for some time because they're a mess. But this is Likeable Litchi. This is the shade 3 in the eye to cheek. This is definitely more purple, a little bit deeper. They're very similar. I'm not sure that anyone would need both of these. I did depot Likeable Litchi already because I knew I wanted to keep it because I love it. Seeing these 2 together, I'm like, I probably didn't need to keep Likeable Litchi, but I'm gonna, because I really like it. I really like this formula. And I like the sheeniness on Likeable Litchi. The sheen on the shade 3 from Valentino, it's like a warm gold shift. I don't know if you're gonna catch it on camera, but it has a little bit of a warm sheen on top, where I feel like the Likeable Litchi sheen is more cool toned and I don't know, it's really pretty. I've really liked it, but I'm going to keep all 3. I'm going to move them all into my permanent collection. because I don't have a lot of warm toned shades like Classy Cloudberry. So it's nice to have that as an option. And then I don't have anything like Fearless Fig. This is really pretty. Make me feel very girly. And I like that. I like that. And it's like they're like a little bit less nuanced, but they are still nuanced, right? Like whenever you're thinking of like something like Hannah Louise Poston's Salt New York collab, like those are like things that you really can't find. Those colors are like really hard to find and are only available with like some other brands. Like you might find something like these shades elsewhere, but like I think that they are special. I think that they're really special. So I'm depotting them. Here's just in case you ever buy these or want to depot them. It was kind of hard to depot this. Like the packaging really didn't want to come undone. But as you can see on the back, I did have to add some magnetized strips to the back. So I am going to do that with these as well. The last like 4 or 5 videos, I've been wearing one of those shades. Like they're just so great. Speaking of the Hannah Louise Poston collab, let's talk a little bit about that and some other products from Salt New York. I have a bunch, but we'll start with the Hannah Louise Poston collection. I was gifted the 2 quads by the brand, and then when I visited Hannah, she gave me some extra shades. Before I get into all of this, I did a really in-depth video with swatches and stuff. I'm not going to swatch all of these. I have done that work. I also do cheek swatches in that video. So please go watch the launch video for this on my channel if you want to see it. Because I do compare it to Phytosurgeons and some other blushes that have similar colors so that you can see how special or not special you think that these blushes are. First, I want to say I really commend Hannah for making blush shades that work for her and are very different from a lot of other things on the market. And I want to see that, and obviously this went very well, which means that there is a market that is really wanting this kind of thing. I don't think that they nailed it for me, unfortunately. I don't reach for these blushes often, though they are colors I also dream of and really wanted to exist. I really wanted Old Gum to be my favorite thing. Whenever I talk about the collection, the 3 lightest blushes, I don't love them. They just don't show up on my skin enough for me to feel like I've done anything. Salt New York's whole vibe is like minimal. Like we're just doing a little bit. A little kiss, a kiss of color, a kiss of this, a kiss of that. Totally. I just feel like I put those blushes on, the light blushes, and then they kind of disappear. So then if I build them up, they have more of like a shiny finish, which like is fine, but I don't really get it. Like just like that's one of the shades blended out. Like, it's kind of like, where did it go? I definitely have fair skin. I also have desaturated skin. That doesn't mean I want my blush to like not almost be there. So these light shades don't work for me. They are not my favorite. They are not the moment. I don't like them. They might be for you, but I don't like them. So then when we move on to the medium shades, I like them a bit more because I don't have to put as much on to get the desired effect that I want. But I think what kind of has happened is like, if the lighter shades showed up on me with more pigment. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I'm phrasing this right. If they showed up on me more, I would like these colors more than I like these colors. However, these colors show up in a satisfactory way for me. I do like these ones better. And if I was reaching for one of these blushes, it would be these 3. But even more so, I think that the deepest blushes I got, these are the ones that Hannah gave me when I visited her. These are the stars. Like, I'm very fair. I'm not far off the Hannah Louise Poston color. We have very similar coloring. She's just olive, I'm more pink. These are the moment. Like, these are the ones that are the best because I don't have to apply very much of these at all, and then I'm getting color. And I'm wearing Canter, which is this purpley one, on my cheek today. You can see it. It's been on my cheek for a while, and it hasn't completely disappeared, which I do feel happens to me with the medium and the light ones. I really lost my luster for these within a couple of weeks or like maybe a month after. I was really not reaching for this collection much after that. And I feel bad saying that. Obviously, like something was done here and I know that it works for a lot of people. It's not really giving for me, unfortunately. I feel very grateful to have received PR. Oh, but I have said this historically, and I will say it again. So the highlighter, the highlight, this is the Nimue. This has, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell, it has the most deepest, what is it called? Dip in it? The deepest dip in it, because it is so pretty, and I have not seen another highlighter quite like this taupe highlighter for my skin tone. So I do like that. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think I'm going to try to find new homes for the light shades. I don't like the brown shades in this collection. They're okay as bronzers and they worked for that. I have other bronzers that I like and I will continue to use, so that's great. I don't need them as a bronzer. The purple shades are my favorite in them. I thought I was going to like the old gum shades in the different depth. Has not been the case, but I do like the deep old gum. Someone, whenever I did my first video, asked me what my perfect quad would be. I don't know that I have a perfect quad, but I have a perfect trio. So I would do Nimue, the highlighter, Canter, which is this one shade here, and then whatever the deepest old gum shade is, I also like that one. That would be part of my perfect quad. And for the last one of my quad, maybe Glasswing. That would be it. Here's my cream blushes, and this palette is not gonna fit anything else in them. Because what I'm thinking for me is I really love this compact. I really do love the compact. I'm gonna keep Nimue for sure. So here's my highlighter palette, my depotted highlighter palette. So I'm gonna put Nimue in here. This is a mix of creams and powders, but that's okay. I'm also gonna keep both of the deepest shades. I'm gonna put them in with my bronzers for the time being. I need more. Does anyone have a connection to Adept? I need more of these, but I don't buy them because I don't think they're unfairly priced. It's just I need more of them than I thought I did. And it just every time I buy two, it's well, you need two more. And it's well, I should have just bought more. So I'm going to put some blushes in my bronzer palette. So there's the two deepest shades. I don't think I'm going to keep Glasswing. So I'm going to find new homes for those. I am decluttering the medium palette in full and the light palette except for Nimue, which I am keeping. And then I also bought some other stuff from Salt New York, which I feel like I have less feelings about. The Salt New York Sneaky Balm and the concealer. This is my Sneaky Balm. Look at how gross they are. This is the problem with cream pan products. And I store mine like this too. But it's and it's always end up full of stuff. Debris. They're so full of debris. So it's the light, for those who are wondering, it's the lightest shade of the Sneaky Balm, the lightest shade of the concealer. Those are what I'm using. The Sneaky Balm, I understand why people like it. I have used it more since the videos where I used it, and I have chosen it as my complexion product. Just willingly was oh, I think the Sneaky Balm would be the moment for this look. So I have thought about it. I have used it since. I do like it. I don't think I would buy it again. The concealer, I have less formed feelings about. I don't really choose it. It's not left an impression of me on its own. I a lot will use it with the Sneaky Balm, but I've never once thought about using the Salt New York concealer by itself, where I have thought about using the Sneaky Balm by itself. It's not to say it's not a good product, but this cream formula in the pan for a complexion product is never going to be the first thing I choose. And I think it works even less for me as a concealer product. I just don't think I'm going to reach for it. It's not bad. It's not good. I'm not decluttering them yet. I still feel like I'm really kind of getting to know them. I don't love any Salt New York products, even the Hannah stuff. I don't love 10 out of 10 love, except for the highlighter formula. These are 2 limited edition shades. I'll get you the names for them. You can technically still, well, at last I checked, you could still buy these on their website, but I don't think they're making them anymore. So it must be just whatever stock they have left. Mood Lighting Light and Mood Lighting Medium. These are very different from Hannah's blushes. Now, Hannah in her video said she made their blush formula more sturdy. This is definitely the sturdiest Salt New York formula I've tried. These are blush lighters, but they work more like glowy blushes. This is the light one, and it reminds me a lot of Inner Glow from Kjaer Weis, which they discontinued. Did you guys know that they discontinued it? Someone had to tell me, and I didn't believe them. It's kind of hard to see. This is a very subtle blush, but then when I swatch the medium, it's very present. Unlike the ones from Hannah's collab, you can definitely see these, especially this shade. There's a lot of pigment there, and it blends out really well. It has a nice sheen to it. These are stunning. Salt New York, if you're listening, which you're probably not, iterate on this sturdy, this formula is gorgeous. Make some other shades of this. I know you're really, you like to do things slow and considered. I think that these are by far the best product I've tried from Salt New York. ever. So pretty. And like, they have like more of this, like, they're just so nuanced. Like, I know that that blush like just looks like one way on camera, but it's so bruisey and cool. And I just love that. Like, I just love that quality. So I will likely end up keeping at least these blushes. Not 100% sure about it. They're still not something I'm reaching for a ton, even though they're my favorite thing Salt New York makes. And yeah, actually, yeah, I'm going to keep the two deepest shades for now from Hannah's collab. I don't know. Maybe the only thing I really truly loved was the highlighter. I feel like I definitely got to know the light and medium shades quite well. I don't feel like my time with the darker two blushes is done yet, but I am keeping the highlighter, but I'm going to put the deeper shades back in my testing drawer. That sounds good to me. Wow, that was very stressful. No shade or shame to any of the people who made any of the products I just talked about. Let's talk about some lip products. In my last video, decluttered the one shade of this. This is the Hemlock Lip Stain from Lethal, and I'm gonna swatch it in a weird place. This one's like more of an orangey red. Very pretty, very cool. I really like this lip stain formula. I just don't like lip stains. Like, so here's like, it's like, if I had to choose a lip stain to wear, I would choose the ones from Lethal. The other thing about the range of the Lethal lip stains is that they are all quite red. The one that I wore in my last video was purple, but it still read as like a red purple. So that's something to note. That is something to note about the line, is that it's like kind of an iteration all on red. So I do actually quite like this product. I'm just not keeping it because I'm not going to use it. And I decluttered some of these to another friend, and one of her friends saw her wearing it and wondered where they got it. And so anyway, she will wear this. My friend's friend will want this and wear it, and I want that for her. The SpongeBob lip gloss I wore like one more time after the video where I first tried it. I'm not gonna wear it. I'm not gonna wear it. It's fine. It's fine. I didn't love the lip gloss formula. It was thick. It was sticky. Wasn't my favorite. Then I have this from Hindash. This is the Rest in Roses. So Hindash did correct me. In my first video, I wasn't really quite sure what this formula was, but he called it a tinted lip balm. And it is a little bit balmy, but it's more of like a lipstick. It's very blurring. And I've been very into that blurred lip. Now, I feel like on my hand is like reading quite red, but I feel like when I put it on my lips, it kind of it like reddened into my lips a little bit, but like not so much that I felt like I was wearing a red lip. And I think that's what's really nice about it. It's like kind of a statement lip, kind of not a statement lip, hydrating, but blurred. So it's nice. It's a really nice formula. I don't have a lot of lip products this color, or any, I think. So I definitely want to keep that. I really like the formula. I haven't worn it a ton though. So that's what happens when a product is like not the perfect color for you, right? It's like, this product's really lovely, but I will wear it. And I have been wearing more warm tones and things that I think will go with that. Like the warmer pinks and stuff that I will sometimes wear. I think it'll look really good with some looks that I do with those. I don't think I mentioned this at the top of the video. I did a little bit of decluttering. I did off camera. I'm not going to tell you what I decluttered or why. So if there was something that existed, and it could be in my permanent, could have been in my permanent drawer, it could have been in the testing drawer. I just was like, I had the thought, I was like, what if I decluttered, but I didn't put the pressure of myself to do it publicly? And it was nice. And I say that because a lot of eyeshadow palettes in the testing drawer got decluttered. Some of them I hadn't touched yet. Some of them I had touched once or twice. But I was just like, I just don't use eyeshadow palettes in the way that, I don't know. These indie brands are very kind to send palettes to me. This is the Paisley Hoot palette from Singe Beauty. This was PR. And this launched not long after I was in the Catskills with Angie. This palette is so pretty. And I have loved all of the looks that I have made with this palette. This palette's really pretty. Here's what it's up against though. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautyverse palette. And this is a very unloved palette from the past. An unloved palette by most, but very much loved by me. I think that these mattes from Charlotte are the best she's ever done. And I also like the shimmers in here. Now, they're not the Pop Shot shimmer formula, but they are really beautiful. And I think of all the eyeshadow palettes I do own, Paisley Hoot is the most akin to this one. Not exactly like dupes, but definitely similar vibes. And I have had such a hard time parting ways with this palette, because every time I use it, I'm like, wow, this is so good. I don't often choose to use it, but that could be said about literally any eyeshadow palette I have in my makeup collection. Like, if I'm choosing to do makeup, very few times am I also choosing to use an eyeshadow, full eyeshadow palette for that experience. This packaging is really cute, really gorgeous, and I do think that I like these mattes more than I like the mattes from Singe. That does not detract from the fact that I do really like the matte formula in here. Very easy to blend, very nice. I did not get into all the colors in here. I was mostly sticking with the browns and the purples and like the taupe that's in here. It's like gorgeous. The problem I'm kind of running into is like, I kind of want to keep this, but if I have this, I don't need this. And this is like new, and like, not that if I decluttered this, I'm sure Cam would take it off my hands. She would love it. But maybe Cam would love this instead. Cam, would you want the Paisley Hoot palette? Let me know. I always think that this is like purple, green, and orange. It's not. Anyway, I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna declutter it. But I did really like playing with this palette. I liked the looks. All the looks that I've made of it were very gorgeous. I don't know. No, I have this. I don't need it. I don't know what has happened to me. Like what's going on. I really love this. I love this more. And I do love this more. And that's actually the truth. And I know that. And I'm gonna keep loving it. Finally, updated thoughts on the Crystallize palette from bellabeautébar. Much like Paisley Hoot, I haven't gotten into every singular shade in here, but I have very much enjoyed all of the looks that I've made with it. Sometimes it's like I want to keep testing a palette, but then other palettes come in, and then the palettes that I was like, I want to keep testing that gets pushed to the back of the drawer. But I have chosen this multiple times to wear out in public. I have chosen this for makeup playtime when I just am like putting a look together, a lunch look, hashtag lunch look. Like I've done a couple lunch looks with this palette. It's really pretty. It's really gorgeous. It's really pretty. I like these multi-chromes, and they're not super sparkly. Some of them are, but like some of them are just multi-chromes. Are really pretty. I just feel like I've not encountered anything that looks like this before. So I'm like feeling compelled to keep it. I've said this before, and I do mean this. It's like, I don't know that every eyeshadow palette I keep has to serve a purpose all of the time. I don't think that they do. Without adding this to my permanent drawer, I feel like I have too many eyeshadow palettes. A lot of the excess ones are bellabeautébar palettes. What I mean by excess ones is just like ones that I don't use often, but I do have. The Realm of Fairies palette, I do occasionally, and I've been more into like blue. That's the blue palette. It's like I also have Nupor's palette, which is gorgeous and stunning. I use this one more than most of them. Then I have the Poison Garden palette, which is like my favorite. We have blues in here though. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. I don't know. It's like, this is like, why is this hard for me? I'm like not as attached to these that I feel like it's coming off that I'm super attached to them. I keep having this fear in the back of my mind that I'm like one day gonna wake up and be like, I want to do only colors with this palette, but that's not true. But I do like this palette. But Poison Garden also has some blues in it. And this is definitely my favorite palette that they've ever done. I'm definitely keeping that one because it's my favorite. And I'm going to keep Nupor's. This is another one that it's just another nude palette, but it's also good. I think I'm going to declutter the Realm of Fairies palette. Very pretty, very gorgeous. Liked every look I've done with it. But I think I will use this more. There's some blues in there. They're not the same kinds of blues, but this is a little more versatile than the Realm of Fairies palette. This was received in PR. So was the Singe palette. Did I say that? Anyway, I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna move it into my permanent drawer. I'm doing it reluctantly though. I don't know. The revolving door of my permanent drawer is about as revolving as my testing drawer. Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that some of these updated thoughts gave you a better look into my thoughts on some of these products. I obviously have been putting out less videos overall, and I have been testing makeup more in my free time to be able to do things like this, to do a roundup. That's gonna be it from me. Thank you so much for watching. I will have a pinned comment. In that pinned comment will be links to support people who need your help right now. If you have additional funds to support any of those causes, I highly recommend that you do. I also have Patreon and channel memberships. You can find those in the description box down below. I'm going to post, if it's not already up, I'm going to post a shop with me where I go through Kiko Milano's website with my patrons. So that's going to be what we're going to do. Where it's not necessarily going to be the stuff I buy, but I do want to take a look at the website. So if you want to see that, go ahead and check it out. And if you want to see my first impressions on Violette FR, it's also over there on my memberships and Patreon. I think that's it. I think that's everything I have to say. Remember to follow your hope and you'll find me. And I'll see you in a video very soon. Go forth, tits out.